That movie dork here sending out a love letter to my unknown pen pals about a Christmas cinema classic by suggestion from Miss Cringe Binge, the Jimmy Stewart and Margaret Sullivan romantic comedy, The Shop Around the Corner. Release date, January 12th, 1940. Budget, $500 grand. Tech specs, zero concrete info, but likely shot on a Mitchell BNC or similar 35mm camera of the era, and since it was shot on location in Budapest, Hungary during wartime, it was most likely captured on Agfa or Gavert black and white 35mm film.
Hell yeah.
Director Ernst Lubitsch acquired the rights to the play Perfumery by Hungarian writer Miklos Laszlo for approximately $7,500. The original play was copywritten on November 10th, 1936. Lubitsch was determined to wait for the availability of Jimmy Stewart and Margaret Sullivan, so he went on to make another classic film, Ninotchka, in the meantime. Reportedly, everything was shot in sequence, which is unheard of for the vast majority of films.
Hell yeah.
Jimmy Stewart and Margaret Sullivan were already dear friends by the time they made this film together, as they worked together doing summer stock with a company called the University Players, and they were familiar enough with their respective idiosyncrasies, like Margaret's disdain for the Hollywood system and her volatile tendencies. To combat his reputation of glitzy and glamorous productions at the time, director Ernst Lubitsch had Margaret Sullivan find a dress she liked off of the rack at a department store, which cost a whopping $1.98, or roughly $46 in 2025 money, further altering it to fit poorly, and left it in the sun to bleach.
Hell yeah.
This film is ranked at number 28 on the American Film Institute's 100 Years, 100 Passions list, their 2002 list of America's greatest love stories, as well as being an entry in the AFI catalog, which is a comprehensive chronicle of the first century of American cinema. Ernst Lubitsch spoke about the film in a January 1940 issue of the New York Sun, saying, "It's not a big picture, just a quiet little story that seemed to have some charm. It didn't cost very much for such a cast, $500,000. It was made in 28 days. I hope it has some charm."
Hell yeah.
There was a time when movie trailers went something like this.
Oh, there you are. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me to introduce myself. I am Mr. Matuchek of Matuchek and Company, the shop around the corner.
Selected for preservation in the National Film Registry by the Library of Congress in 1999 for being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant, along with the films The Ten Commandments, A Streetcar Named Desire, and Do the Right Thing. Final bag. Approximately $380,000 in its original theatrical run, making this a box office flop. However, the critical response to the film was strong, and continues to be to this day. It is currently ranked at number 1 on Rotten Tomatoes' Best Christmas Movies of All Time list, holding a 99% fresh rating. Ernst Lubitsch called this film the best picture I ever made in my life, and his influence can be felt across cinema. In the works of Billy Wilder, Alfred Hitchcock, the cinematic musical In the Good Old Summertime, the Broadway musical She Loves Me, and Nora Ephron's You've Got Mail, adapting the story for a modern setting, replacing the letters with emails, and naming Kathleen's bookstore The Shop Around the Corner, all nodding to the Lubitsch touch, decades after his death in 1947. Rest in peace, Ernst, and thanks for all the wonderful movies, as well as your influence on cinema. Thanks for watching this incredibly dorky video about the great classic film, The Shop Around the Corner. Share your favorite moments, quotes, and movies just like Miss Cringe Binge did. I'll make a video about it sooner or later. Until next time, friends, when we try to rob the silver tuna.